back to another militia loadout video. So, as with the last one, we're going to go through METT-TC, and this is for a reconnaissance patrol, or recce patrol. So, through METT-TC, the mission is to conduct a reconnaissance patrol, and not only do the reconnaissance patrol, but we have an established point, or maybe there's a couple established points where you're going to be doing a temporary lying up position. So you'll basically, be setting up an LPOP in a couple of different areas and staying there for a certain amount of time. So you need to have stuff with you to accommodate that. So you're going to be on the move, and then there's going to be some times when you're not on the move. So anyways, just got to be aware of that. So we'll just say there's like 2 areas that you're going to go. So, or there's 2 areas I'm going to go with my imaginary team. So anyways, the enemy is known armed. There's definitely armed looters that were around. Maybe we made contact with them in this fictitious scenario or whatever. But the estimate is there might be 8 to 12 of them roaming around or whatever. So there's some spots that there might be activity. So these areas, we'll just set up a lying up position in the vicinity of. And it's all going to be done in daylight, so that's going to be covered here. It's in a rural wooded area near where our AO is, and it's going to be overcast, kind of like the last scenario, middle of the day, because, they don't want to go out at night, I guess. But anyways, the troops available, it's only going to be 2 of us. 1 for security, 1 for watching, and then switching off as needed. And there's going to be a couple of people available, and they will be mobile. They'll have vehicles available to get to us if need be. So keep that in mind. But it's going to be short radios, and their radios are going to be on ready at a predetermined frequency, and ours are going to be off unless there's something to report. So yeah. Anyways, time. Estimated about 12 hours, so going to stay in one area for a certain amount of time and then stay in another area for a certain amount of time, and you're snooping and pooping, trying to stay out of not necessarily everybody's view, but you're trying to snoop and poop. You're not trying to make contact necessarily. This is a reconnaissance, not a raid. So civilians, they're going to be sporadic, and that's basically what you're considering is, so you're going to be camming up, you're going to be basically looking to blend in and not be seen. So movement's going to be slow. Don't want to be carrying all that much stuff, but you know that there's people around that are armed. So got to plan accordingly. So let's go ahead and see what my loadout looks like. Okay, so the loadout is a little bit different, and some of it's the same as the last loadout that I did, which was for security patrol for, a mundane situation. So anyways, same rifle idea. So the first mag would be, 42 rounder, but I do have my plate carrier now, and I have some items set aside. Those are items like I have the compass, I have my monocular, and I have my CLP, bug repellent, sunscreen, whatever. Because I would be going into a lying up position, I would basically be at the mercy of all the mosquitoes, who are not very nice. And also I have Ziploc bags. Why would I have Ziploc bags? Well, if you're in a lying up position and you have to take a dump, probably best to bag it and not just let it fume in your area. So, bag it up, bury it, whatever. So you'll be able to be on shifts, ideally. So, one little change I would probably make, though, is I would probably take the sling off. When you're in the prone, this can probably just get in the way, from my experience. So I'd probably run with either no sling or maybe a 1-point or something like that. So, or just convert it to a 1-point, which I can do easily. So anyways, let's go ahead and go left to right. So support side, gun side. So with that said, let's go ahead and look first over here. Over here in this little pocket, which I had a light on last time, this is a knife. So I have that folding knife there still. It can still come in a little bit of handy. And these 2 are basically just, I got 2 mag pouches, and they each have 3 30-round magazines. So again, 120 rounds on there, and of course my dump pouch. Now, where things get a little bit different is here. I have my canteen, and then I have a trail mix basically, and another trail mix, no bread. Because I'm going to be going slow, I'm not all too worried about it, and I would honestly probably just substitute it for like granola mix or dried fruit or something like that for sugar or something like that. Basically, I could, make my own trail mix, but I'm just worried about efficiency. I'm not really worried about, having little convenient snacks, which is like what bread basically is for me. For me, the breads are just comfort items, and that's what it represents. So for this one, I'm going for more efficiency for what I actually need it for, so some energy for being out there for 12 hours. And it's going to be under the canteen. Yeah, I am using the canteen. Like I said in the last video, I don't really drink much water, and going slow, being in the wood line, also staying still, taking breaks to hydrate and get your bearings. So switching off, doing a 50-50 rotation on the lying up positions and having plenty of sills breaks will make that, absolutely doable. So anyways, that's just in my experience. Anyways, the middle pocket is the emergency pocket or contingency pocket. So anyways, same IFAC, and I have a poncho in case it's raining down. It also adds a little bit of camouflage for lying up position or whatever. So, that's pretty much it. It's just a really cheap poncho that rain will run off of. It's not going to be, holding water or pulling it up or anything like that. So, yeah, there we go. Now let's move on to the other utility or canteen pouch. For this pouch, I have my backup canteen, and I have a main meal. I have a main meal only because if I do get an opportunity through 12 hours, I do want to replenish my energy. This is going to be kind of slow. It's going to have a little bit of protein in it or whatever. Honestly, what I would probably end up doing is I would probably take like a Ziploc bag, and I would probably empty something like a canned food, like maybe a ravioli or spaghetti or something like that, put it in a Ziploc bag or something like that, and maybe double Ziploc it and have something that's like this, and something that's just quick and easy to have when you're, in the lying up position. But yeah, I also got my backup canteen. Probably would go into it after 12 hours or whatever, just trying to force water before your next movement. Just be wise, but just realize that it'll make you have to piss. So keep that in mind for yourself. This one is where it gets really interesting. This is not ammo in here. It is actually, I have some cam cream, some Predator war paint. This is some pretty good stuff. It's a sunblock or sunscreen or whatever. Also has a can opener on the bottom, kind of interesting. But it's got a mirror on the inside, so this stuff has a mirror, and it's got 3 different colors. Pretty convenient little, thing of cam cream. So have that, and then I have a sniper's veil, and this is a pretty good size, and that'll help me initially set up the lying up position, camouflage in my area. So that's what's in there. It's immediately available, and since you are going to be camming up, you are going to need that available to you pretty quickly. I'd probably put the cam cream just in like a hip pocket or something like that. Quickly touch up, because as you sweat, your camouflage does wear off your face. So this one is just 3 30-round mags again, and I have a little bit of electrical tape at the bottom here to kind of push up the mags, and it's just there to kind of police up anything that I might have, or whatever I would need electrical tape for. Pretty convenient. And then on the end here, I have good old apple jelly, and this is just a representation of like what I would use. I would use like a Ziploc bag and put some, straight up sugary jelly type stuff in there. Maybe the organic jellies would be a good idea, or maybe you can your own stuff or whatever. Something sugary to kind of give you quick energy when you're on the move or whatever, and yeah, it's just very helpful. So anyways, as you see, I do have body armor this time. I do have my plate carrier. I do have basically the same amount of rounds. Because I'm going up, I'm going to be basically looking in or listening in or setting up an LPOP in an area that might have these people around. They do outnumber us technically. I mean, there's 2 of us and there's an estimate of 8 to 12 of them. So, you know, got to be ready for that. So that's pretty much it for my loadout for a reconnaissance patrol for that specific mission. You know, again, if I was to change one thing on the METT-TC, I would probably have to change things maybe a little more drastically. Like if the weather is being a problem, I would probably have to change it up a little bit and have something a little, add something like a Gore-Tex or something like that, and make my life, you know, harder. If there were less people, I'd probably have less ammo or whatever. But it would also depend on the tactics for taking contact. What are your procedures and stuff? So that's not necessarily covered in this. It's just a loadout for that mission, and it kind of does go around the tactics of it, of basically withdrawing, not necessarily wanting contact, but if you do, you know, withdraw or whatever, calling the QRF, but you have enough to sit and, you know, fight it out for a little while. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and you guys have a good one.